Skip the 2008 flip analogy for such a big moment here.
And if Mercier gets there, it's over.
King, queen for Jason. Good luck. Here is the flop. Flop comes, queen.
There's a queen on the flop.
Pair of queens.
Just destined for him, huh?
Anthony needs a 7 to survive.
No 7.
Here is the turn.
Doesn't even have to worry about spades.
No help. Two cards in the deck.
One
The
more
card is
time.
not a 7.
There's 2 outs once.
Of the EPT here in San Remo. And here is the river card. It's a deuce.
No 7.
Winner.
Jason Mercier wins EPT San Remo. Yeah!
Good game, man. Good plan. Played well. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here we go with hand 1 of heads up. Blind still 300k, 600k.
So somebody's 3, huh? Yeah. No more time bank for
No
me?
time bank. It's
I want,
it's an
no,
advantage.
you don't need, only for me. I need more,
yeah,
I need
you
more.
have 3, I have 0, so you have an advantage.
I need more.
Aces for Guerrero.
Okay.
And he just calls.
Didn't need much think time for that one.
Bendinelli with queen 4 offsuit. Checks his option. The flop. Sees Bendinelli pair his 4. Ace is obviously still way ahead.
So far, this is working out for Jimmy.
Check, check on the flop. And on the turn, Bendinelli improves to trips. He is now a 95% favorite.
Jimmy's getting outdrawn.
Bendinelli bets the turn, 1.2 million.
I don't think Giuliano would have folded to a pre-flop raise anyway, so maybe that limp will actually save Jimmy some money here.
He calls. We go to the river, which is the 3 of diamonds. There's 4.2 million in the pot.
And Bendinelli cannot check.
He is betting big, 6 million.
All right, so this is an overbet.
6 million.
6 million.
Even though Jimmy's got aces, he definitely can't raise. Giuliano's bluffs will fold, his value hands will not.
I need to save my time bank. I don't have too much.
At least you have some time bank cards. Giuliano doesn't have any.
Crazy.
Gonna have to make a crying call heads up with aces. Sad.
Giuliano, 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 Giuliano. Oh, oh, oh.
Wow, he gets away from aces.
What? That was nuts.
The Italians may be chanting, but they've no idea how much value Bendinelli missed out on there. Blinds are up to 500,000 and a million, with a 1 million big blind ante. Queen 9 of diamonds for Bendinelli. He calls.
These two are playing kind of funny against each other.
Guerrero with Jack 4 of clubs checks. The flop is all Bendinelli. A pair and a flush draw, 92% equity. With the action check to him, he bets 1.5 million.
Should be an easy fold.
4.7. 4,700,000.
Oh dear, he's picked the wrong time to check raise.
It's never the wrong time for a Guerrero tilt overdrive. Except maybe now.
Bendinelli calls the raise.
I assume Guerrero's got some kind of plan, and it's probably not going to work out for him.
Turn card is the 10 of clubs. Bendinelli now a 95% favorite.
And I think he's going to like that card.
Having check-raised the flop, Guerrero set to barrel the turn. That is 6 million.
Well, this is starting to get serial, but it still feels kind of like a just call spot for Bendinelli.
Calls again. We go to the river with 24.4 million in the pot. It's the Queen of Hearts, so Bendinelli improves to queens and tens.
This is still all Bendinelli.
All in.
How much?
Wow, Guerrero is shoved. Now, after the count has been confirmed, the shot clock will start running. Bendinelli has 30 seconds to make a decision, and he is out of time bank cards. He cannot extend the clock.
We saw a situation just like this moments ago. It's a super polarizing spot where Guerrero is going to have nothing or he's going to have top pair crushed.
For the avoidance of doubt, on this occasion, he has nothing. Time is ticking down for Giuliano Bendinelli.
If he makes the call, this is over and he's the champ.
5 seconds to make a decision. He's out of time. His hand will be declared dead.
Du chaud est chaud. Du chaud est chaud. Du chaud est chaud. Allez là, papa, le bluff! Le bluff!
Oh, wow.
Le bluff! Allez là!
If he'd had more time, do you think he makes the call?
I truly do not know.
Bluff! Ooh, ooh, ooh! Ooh, 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 ooh!
Oh boy.
Jimmy's just taken the chip lead.
Ouais, Giuliano. 5 call bluff, bro. Ragnarok.
You won the pot. There's no need to be Thor.
Ah, breath.
Another incredible twist. So much drama. As this heads-up battle for the EPT Barcelona main event title continues. Guerrero with the chip advantage right now. 36.7 million, place 32.1 million. Blind 600K, 1.2 million.
They're even in stacks-ish, but there's not a lot of play to be had in that number of big blinds.
6-5 off on the button for Guerrero.
2.7.
And he's raising. Jack 10 for Bendinelli in the big.
Can I change my raise?
What?
I want to make 2.8.
You said 2.7. You said
Yeah,
2.8?
but I want to make 2.8.
No, you can no.
He's got you there.
He's joking.
Bendinelli calls. And the Italian flops top two.
All Bendinelli again.
Check, check. And Bendinelli improves to a full house on the turn. He's going to bet 2 million. Well, Guerrero has 6 high. He is drawing dead,
Oh, Lord.
but he calls?
If Jimmy's calling here, it means he's going to do something crazy on the river.
4 of diamonds changes nothing. Bendinelli betting again. $3.5 million.
Any chips Jimmy puts into the pot here, he is not getting back.
He thinks better of it. He folds.
Dude has made some incredible reads so far.
So Bendinelli wins the pot. And he will regain the advantage. Could have been an even bigger advantage if Jimmy had got crazy with 6 high. As things stand, Giuliano's now playing a stack of 36.8 million. Jimmy Guerrero, 32 million. And it's Bendinelli first to act here. He's on the button in the small blind. With pocket 8.
Absolute monster heads up. Abominable snow monsters. Num num.
He raises to 3 million. Jimmy Guerrero has Jack 7 of spades in the big blind.
Definitely worth a call.
He does call. We go to the flop, which is Jack 9-8. It's top pair and a straight draw for Guerrero, but Bendinelli has flopped a set.
Mamma mia.
Guerrero checks. Bendinelli is a 4-1 favorite. He continues for 2.5 million. Guerrero calls. Turn card is the Jack of clubs. Guerrero improves to trips. Bendinelli now has a full house.
Papa Pia.
Guerrero checks a second time. Bendinelli firing a second barrel, 5.5 million.
Jimmy's in big, big trouble, but maybe, just maybe, he can get away on a bad river.
Guerrero calls again. We now have 23.2 million in the middle. We are going to the river, which is the 8 of diamonds. Guerrero now has a full house, but Bendinelli has rivered quads.
Baby's gonna win an EPT.
Action on Guerrero. He's gonna lead. He's betting small, 3.8 million.
It's all going in. It's just a matter of when.
All in.
There it is. Bendinelli shoves on Guerrero.
Good joke. No, I think good joke.
Guerrero calls.
I win!
You heard the man. He wins. After being down to just one big blind, Giuliano Bendinelli bounces back to win the biggest EPT main event in history.
Best EPT final table of all time.
Jimmy Guerrero, the runner-up for 1.25 million.
And locked up a nice score in the deal.
Another near miss for this very entertaining character. Giuliano Bendinelli will receive close to 1.5 million, and he will lift the main event trophy. He is an EPT champion. What an incredible comeback story.
What a watch.
See cooler, like last hand, see cooler.
This could be a movie.
An amazing end to an incredible final table. I'm not going to lie, that is a tough act to follow. But here we are in the year 2025 in Italy with the first ever PokerStars Open in Campione. It's the final day of the tournament. It is the final table of the main event. We return from the dinner break with 8 players competing for that trophy and first prize of €363,000. It's James Hartigan alongside Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies.
And Joe, coming back from dinner, Big Nick informing the players that the levels have been shortened again. We are now playing a 50-minute clock, and the level durations may be reduced further once we start losing some players, once we start thinning the field. We have got a couple of short stacks right now. Putz, Sterber, kind of in the danger zone. Danger zone. As we go to 125,000, 250,000 with a 250K big blind ante. Level 36 now underway. Raksha wants to know how he spent our dinner break. The cold pizza came out of the fridge. It has been consumed. Jimmy's got energy. Well, that was quick.
Yep. Oh, boy.
Blind versus blind. And we have a domination situation, and it's the dominated hand at risk here. Andreas Putz at risk and behind.
Wait, was that a Putz pun?
10 holding on a Jack 7 deuce flop. And drawing to one of 3 5s in the deck, or we are down to 7. River is a 4. We lose our first player from the official final table. Andreas Putz from Germany cashes for €43,340. As Adrian Sorel State from Romania chips up, second in chips at the table behind Barnaba Peroni.
What's the ladder up? What is the ladder up?
Everyone is now locked up 56 grand, so about €13,000, Joe.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Remember, once we get to 4 players, everyone's locked up. 6 figures, more than 100K. Former chip leader Manuel Montalban in the big blind for this hand. Salvatore Russo, also a one-time chip leader, under the gun with ace-jack, is raising. There's our current chip leader, Peroni. He folds. Round 2, the button. It's starting. King 9 of clubs.
How big are the stacks in the blinds? You don't really want to give someone a good squeeze spot here if they're...
So no small blind this hand, just the big blind of Montalban. So he's calling as well. So we are going 3-way to the flop. Ace, queen, tray.
A little piece for Montalban, a big piece for Russo.
Some backdoor possibilities for Starte. It's been checked to him on the button.
Oh, he's going to fall for it.
Boom.
He's going to fall for it.
300K is his bet.
I'm suspicious AF when under the gun checks this flop.
What are they raising that checks this flop?
So Montalban is called with second pair. Russo, who, as you just observed, Joe, was the pre-flop aggressor, has top pair. And he announces raise.
Aha! Got him.
1 million.
I don't know if it's optimal, but it is. When you go for this and you get to pull it off, it feels pretty good.
Makes it $1 million, gets 2 quick folds. Russo rakes in chips, up over 11 million now. Moves ahead of Montalban in the standings. So that is the prize money up for grabs here. Legnaro is the player who bubbled the final table. We just lost Andreas Putz. Now everyone's locked up 56K, and those are the sums for the top 4, including that 363K score for the champion, the first ever winner of a PokerStars Open.
And I forgot to welcome back Barnaba Peroni, who went to dinner a few minutes early.
Well, when you've only got 40 minutes for dinner, you want to maximize the time, and got the chip lead, can afford to miss a couple of hands and enjoy a nice meal.
I mean, it's not like it takes that long to make it al dente.
Got to squeeze in 5 courses, Joe. I'm saying that 40 minutes is not enough. Action starting here with Gaspare Sposato. Folds 5-4 under the gun. Round 2, Montalban. Queen 7 of spades. Makes it 500,000. And Russo, looking down at queens in the small blind, announces raise, 3-bet incoming. 1.4 million is the 3-bet. Peroni's folded the big blind, so we're back on Montalban, and no, just no. I like the button open. You have to fold to the 3-bet. It's that simple.
Them's the rules.
I need your time back. 1 time back. I told you before, you need to say raise and how much, because you were thinking like after that.
Yeah, this is a trick that some players are trying to pull, and it ain't going to cut it. Remember, you have 15 seconds for your first pre-flop decision. Russo said raise, and then paused. And at the end of that period, the 15 seconds ran out before he said 1.4 million. So he has to give a time bank card. He did not complete his action before the 15 seconds was up. By the way, I'm not saying for 1 second that this is an angle, but I'm saying we're seeing this quite frequently, that people think that as long as they get the word raise in, they're all right. But no, you have to say the amount as well. The action has to be completed.
I mean, it's hard to determine that, right? But if that were the case, then it would have to be a min raise.
Yeah, I think in that spot, you'd rather give up a time bank card and be allowed to raise the amount you want to raise than just being forced to click it.
That's what I mean. There's no way to in that moment. Say, hey, which one do you want? Do you want the
Yeah.
time bank card to make it an amount, or do you want to do min?
Yeah.
Because that just takes even more time.
How much?
Christina's running a tight ship, and I like it.
Christina, when we talk about the EPT dealers, the greater EPT universe, the Stars Tours having the best dealers in the world, Christina is at the forefront of my mind when I make statements like that.
100%. So, this was weird. This was a limp from Montalban in the cutoff. And now facing the raise from Peroni, Montalban with a dominating hand and the advantage of position makes the call. We are going to the flop.
Limpe, limpe.
That flop, ace-8 tray, so no real help for either player. King high still ahead.
Sit 8 bet, 1 million. Six plus.
Quick one.
Have it.
No, lui voleva rilanciare, ma gli hanno preso il call. Sì. Sì, ma lui voleva rilanciare.
The Rob Caudry, Frank Sabotka hybrid with the biggest stack right now, with 7 players remaining at this final table. Sosiano, tray deuce of diamonds. That's a fold.
3 plus.
Starte's out. Montalban says raise and puts the chips out very quickly. 500,000. Oh, the needle, Russo, the needle.
I love a subtle needle.
Peroni's loving it.
9 plus. And 1 plus.
Is it my imagination, or has the pace of play picked up considerably?
It has. That's the difference between European carbs and American carbs.
Right. I was going to say, this is weird, because you'd think that we're now in kind of major ICM territory, and that's going to slow everything down. But it's like, no, let's play hands. Let's do this. Come on.
Maybe there was a little vino.
Oh.
I mean, I can't say for sure. Players don't really do that stuff anymore. They don't drink on breaks. They don't. I mean, no one's drinking at this table.
Boring.
Now, they do say that cheese activates the same pleasure centers in your brain that drugs do, so maybe that's it.
Cheese.
7 plus. 8 plus.
Starte has opened with ace-jack. We saw the Spraggy folded there. Wise man.
2 plus.
Again, raise and take it.
Even the raise and take-its are going fast. I mean, it could be that they've been informed that the blinds are getting shorter, right? And so it's in their best interest to fold quickly.
100%. We are literally on the clock. We are fighting time itself.
Russo couldn't be any less interested in looking at his cards. Come on, buddy. Oh, well,
So,
fair enough.
Eight plus. 9 plus. 1 plus.
Labby asked, does anyone know, can PokerStars come to the Balkans? I don't know what the Balkans are.
7.
Is that the 2 purple spaces in Monopoly? No, that's Baltic. That's Baltic.
2 triple.
Can I throw your own advice in your direction, Joe?
Yeah.
Read a map.
Read a map.
Ace, 10, 8 on the flop. Top pair for start 8.
2 bet. 500.
Está bene porque si no duraría mucha gente teatro, 5, sí, pero 15, ya.
Directions to the Balkans. Well, I can't walk there from here.
2 check.
So it's like right above Greece? A lot of countries in that little area there. Huh. Learn something new every day.
3 check.
3 on the river. 5-4 bricks out. Actually, was drawing pretty dead on the turn. So what's it going to be? Casinò.
2 check. 3 check.
Check to showdown. Another pot for start 8. Who has impressed throughout this tournament, is impressing at the final table, and Nick referenced it earlier on today. We have seen start 8 before. We've seen him on the EPT.
It's no surprise. It is the year of Romania.
Yes.
So we focused on what the next pout is, which is we've determined 56,000.
Yeah.
But what I like to do is look at the next 2 pouts to see what the jump is if you're not the next person out.
Sure. So the jump now is to 56. The jump after that is to 73. So that's an additional 30K.
Almost 30. No. Almost 20.
Yes, sorry.
6 raise.
Guess what?
150.
Sorel State is vlogging this event, and soon it'll be on the Romanian Let's Poker Romania channel. Get ready for some fun. Cool.
Second. 9, 1, 2, 3, and 6 pass.
Button is correct. 9-7, como tu amigo.
Another quick hand.
Again, loving the pace. Let's keep it going, guys. Bish, bash, bosh. Great to see Peroni still enjoying himself. What's not to enjoy? You're vying for the chip lead at the final table of this huge tournament in your home country.
For the under. And you have 1
Sì, perché
white
dicendo io l'ho
chip.
lasciato col dubbio che lo stesso i giri sono quelli. Ho messo una blanca, hai infatti l'ho sbagliato, no? Fammi la mossa totale. Non fare neanche come prima con la sua capa. No, si la tiene. Deve ya está. 250 per ponersi.
You can fold, buddy.
1 pass. 2 pass.
Here's an idea. Fold the cards, then have your conversation.
Yeah,
Just play
get
'em.
chatty. Get chatty. I mean, maybe wait for the guy you're talking to fold also, but
That too.
at the very least, you can act.
Button race from start 8 with King Queen.
6 pass.
King Jack for Russo in the big blind.
This is
6, 7.
dangerous.
Russo calls, understandably, and we go to the flop, which is
Jack.
Ace, 7, deuce with 2 clubs.
7 check.
Through no fault of his own, Russo gets himself into a dominated position.
Continuation bet from Starte. And a quick fold from Russo. A 4 and a 3, and Sposato folds.
1 plus.
Raise. 5.
2 red 500. 16 plus. 6 plus.
What's the nickname of 10-3 offsuit?
The kitchen.
The Kitchens, that's it.
Because if you're thinking of playing 10-3 offsuit, you're going to end up in the poker kitchen.
Is the Poker Kitchen still a thing now that they've moved over to Paris Horseshoe?
I don't think so. I haven't heard it mentioned in a while.
Why would you ever need the Poker Kitchen when just a 5-minute walk away you've got Guy Fieri's Flavor Town?
There's some better, at least different options.
Yes, I deliberately picked the worst restaurant within walking distance of Paris Horseshoe to... I have actually eaten at that place, not by choice.
It's fine.
It's not fine. The food's foul. I'm sorry. It's foul.
What is showed? It is Jack.
That trophy will be lifted within the next few hours. Question
James,
mark.
I can appreciate that you may not know the answer to this question. That
Sure.
looks a little smaller to me than an EPT main trophy, and that would make sense if it was. It's not, though. It's the same size.
I believe all of the shards are the same size.
Okay.
It's a standard mold. Sosano with aces. Opens under the gun.
6 plus.
Russo will be folding the king deuce.
7 plus.
Pocket fives for Peroni.
You know that Sociano is an anagram for anus echo?
I did not need to know that. Ace king
Oh, boy.
for Sposato.
Sposato is an anagram for oops.
Well, Sposato starts the hand with 4.6 million, and
And 100.
after this
1 plus.
very committing 3-bet, it's a virtual all-in.
Call. 2 call.
Oh, just a call, so I guess we're going to a flop then. Peroni fold, please fold. So this is very, very weird.
Yeah.
That means that we're going to a flop. Sposato's got 650K behind.
Sposato can get away from it? Question mark.
I don't know.
Who moved all in?
All in.
Sociano did.
Check.
All in.
Sit 2 all in.
So Ciano announces all in.
And sit 9 call. Can you tell me?
As popo. Asso capo.
So Sposato at risk and drawing dead on the turn. We see an elimination at the final table as we lose Gaspari Sposato from Italy in 7th place, cashing for 56,330 euros. Everyone else ladders locking up 73 grand.
Ok.
I feel like we got to see some of the best of Sposato over the last couple of days.
I was jamming. No, si fa con retardo media hora. Claro, hombre, si no se miraría las cartas tal vez. Claro, hombre. Congrats.
Well, if there's one thing that's going to push this tournament to its conclusion, it's coolers. And that was a cooler. Ace, king into aces. And we have another short stack at the table, by the way. I hadn't quite realized that Jacob Sturber is hovering around the 6 big blind mark.
Which does make it a little more heartbreaking.
Sit 3 raise 500.
For the ace-king bust out there.
6 pass. 500 first.
Quindi va bene,
6, 7 pass.
Starte opens with kings.
8 pass.
Sturber, king 6 in the small blind. I mean,
Careful that forward motion.
whatever happens here, by the way, Sturber has laddered, and that's a huge result for him. And I guess he's deciding whether to go with the king 6 here.
He gets a whole round. He gets a whole round if
That
he folds.
is true.
Sit 1 all in.
Well, he does decide to take a stand, get snap called by the kings, and we could see back-to-back KOs here.
It would be shocking if we did not see back-to-back KOs here.
We just saw Gaspari Sposato run ace-king into aces and bust in 7th, and now it's Jakob Sturber at risk with king 6 against kings. 5% equity with 5 cards to come. That is, I'm trying to find a different word for it, bad.
It's real bad.
And a 2% on the flop.
Incentelo c'è.
Lots of good turns, though. So many good turns.
No good turn, drawing dead on the turn, and that will see Jakob Sturber eliminated in 6th place. Got the ladder, though. He was sitting there with 6 big blinds when that confrontation between Sposato and Casinò took place, and that means Sturber ladders and gets 73,210 euros. Crucially, we are now 5-handed at this final table, and we are 1 elimination away from hitting the 6-figure scores. And I missed the count. Starte may have taken the chip lead from Peroni now.
Yeah. Yes, he has. By a very narrow margin. I mean, State, Peroni, and Sociano are all bunched up.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3 right now.
6 pass.
And a good observation from Tom, not just back-to-back eliminations, but also back-to-back hands where the at-risk player was dead on the turn.
Sit 2 raise 625.
I genuinely never thought we were going to get to this point in the tournament. 5-handed.
5 remaining from a starting field of 2,423. Well, the other thing to highlight, Joe, I mentioned about when we get to 4 players, we're looking at 6-figure payouts. The other thing that will happen when we're four-handed is the blinds legitimately will be reduced to 40 minutes. When we get 3-handed, I believe they go to 30 minutes. That
Still feels tight to finish in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Especially given that.
There's no short stack anymore, right?
Yeah, the shortest stack is 37 bigs.
Eighth race, 650. 2 pass. $650. C2 and 3 pass. 6 pass.
I mean, I don't know that I can crank it any more than I've cranked it.
Yeah, I don't want you to injure yourself.
You have muted it.
We've got a lot of poker coming up.
That is very true. In the next few weeks, guys, and if you do enjoy watching our live content on the PokerStars YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please give the video a like as well. Make sure you're with us next month for the Irish Open and EPT Monte Carlo. We're going to have 4 days of coverage from Dublin. We're going to have main event coverage from the EPT. On the PokerStars Twitch channel, coming up before all that, is the final day of the Sunday Million anniversary. The must-play tournament of the year takes place Sunday, April 6th. It's a $6 million guaranteed event celebrating the 19th anniversary of the Sunday Million. And it concludes on Tuesday the 8th. And on that Tuesday, there will be live coverage on Twitch. So join me, Joe, Nick Walsh, and Griffin Benja for a live stream of the final day of a tournament that not just marks the Sunday Million anniversary, but will conclude this year's Sunday Million season.
C rate fold. C2 raise 550.
Okay, we've got an open.
The open is from Sosianu with Queen 8 of diamonds. Russo in the big, 10 deuce off. No.
Have we done it? Have we hit another lull?
Oh, I sincerely hope not. I like the lulls, I don't like the lulls.
Jamie, I hate to tell you, but I do recycle 99% of my stuff.
Small blind.
There's just no way not to.
In the words of the Smiths, recycle, reversion, repackage.
I mean, that's certainly what the producers of Evil Dead did. I've got like 400 different versions of those movies. The Necronomicon version, the director's cut, the Japanese cut, the ash tin can version.
It's, I think it's from the Smiths' last album. The song is Paint a Vulgar Picture, and the premise is at the record company meeting where they have a dead star on their hands, what to do. Oh, the company plans, and it's basically just about how the company cashes in. Great lyricist, Morrissey. Shame he's gone a bit,
Yeah, we've lost a few of them who've all gone a bit,
Where are we at? Russo on the button.
Yeah.
He has announced raise, and he has confirmed the raise amount. Good man. Ace Jack for Sociano in the big blind.
Sociano attacking what is perceived to be a loose button open, but these are two pretty deep stacks. This is number 3 and 4 in chips, 65 and 41 big blinds respectively to start the hand.
Seat 7, raise all in.
What?
Well, this escalated quickly, and suddenly we are off to the races. We are flipping for 20.8 million chips, and Russo is flipping for his tournament life.
This flip seems rather unnecessary.
One thing I hadn't considered when we talked about how long this might take is it might be that the concept of ICM has not yet reached Italian shores.
No. Ah, wow.
Well, this is looking great for Russo with
Well,
the 10 of spades in his hand.
So a set of 10s is bad, but a spade is good. The ace of spades is good.
And you're going to dodge 5 cards.
Whoa, whoa.
Sadly,
10s is bad.
that is one of them.
Oh my goodness.
It's a post-turn flip. It's still 50-50.
50-50
No, 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 no.
on the river.
Yes.
Wow. Ace Jack defeats 10s, and that is the end of Salvatore Russo's end. He is gone.
What the heck just happened?
A huge, arguably unnecessary flip, which resulted in the former chip leader busting in 5th place.
Nice hand. Wow. What a hand. What a hand. Wow.
And Russo cashes for 95,190 euros. Everyone else has now locked up 123K.
6-figure score time, my babies.
Sociano, new chip leader with 27 million. Starte, second in chips with 20 mil. 17 million for Peroni. And then Montalban, former chip leader, now the shortest stack. Not short stack, 35 big blinds. And we still have
Small.
decent amount of time on this level before the blinds go up.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Oh my God. Like in Italian, oh my God, it's cazzo.
So when the blinds do go up, by the way,
It's a bad word, cazzo?
which is going to be in 10 minutes time, just checking the clock there. When the blinds go up in 10 minutes time, we are going to move to 40-minute blind levels. Because we're now four-handed. I'll be honest with you, Joe, when we came back from dinner at the start of this level with 8 players, I thought we were in this for the long haul. And half the final table's already gone.
So what I wanted to address about that flip, by the way, is that, okay, maybe that's a theory that ICM isn't on the forefront of their minds. I would like to give them a little bit more credit and just say that you've been in a state of distress for however many days this event's been going on, however many hours this is going on. I can totally see there being some relief in just shipping it pre-flop and taking a flip. It's hard. It's hard to be on that razor's edge for days and days and hours at a time and not just sort of want to get things over with. Doesn't mean you want to lose, but it's just very difficult to maintain that sort of focus for that long. It makes sense to me that you might just blurt out the words all in when you see ace jack suited or pocket tens or whoever it was that got it in there first.
Raise on seat 8, 600. Seat 2 fold, seat 3 fold, seat 6 fold.
And we have gotten some help from the poker gods that before that hand, which was a kind of a forced cooler, there were some legit coolers.
Yes.
big line. 250.
And in this year of Romania, just one Romanian player, only one player claiming Romania right now.
C2 fold. Raise. C3 raise. 5.
Yes, Nick, to answer your question, I believe Ace Jack snap called. That was the part that was
It
most
just-
shocking to me.
I mean, it went raise, re-raise, all in called so quickly.
C raise fold.
I guess these guys are fed up with being cautioned for not acting quick enough with inside their shot clock.
Es el más.
I can't believe the 10 peeled off.
I know.
You were like, ah, it's no big. No, wait, there it is.
Mañana voy a necesitar esto para pasar.
Them poker gods, them can be cruel.
They got a great sense of humor.
Twisted, dark sense of humor.
Really twisted sense of humor. I still prefer them to the regular gods.
I don't know, Zeus is pretty cool.
500,000. 6 fold.
Zeus is problematic at best, James.
That's what I like about the Greek gods. I love the fact they're all fundamentally flawed. There's no perfection on Mount Olympus.
They're not
Petty
fundamentally
rivalries,
flawed. They're all
egos.
assholes.
Egos running right. Yeah, well, they're basically a reflection of humanity.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If I had the powers of Zeus, I'd probably have a whole lot of illegitimate children also. Some of them with animals.
Well, it's a pair of fives for Starte. It's a club draw for Socianu. It is a post-flop flip.
Let me guess that the whole 20 million 40 million effective doesn't go in here.
There
Hey.
is the flush.
It is no longer a flip.
No.
The post-flop flip flush, flushes, flip, no further.
It's been a long weekend.
First on the flop, second on the turn.
Yeah.
No club in my hand. No bueno. Kinder bueno.
Kinder bueno.
So we are four-handed with the blinds going up in just under 6 minutes' time. Blinds will go to 150,000, 300,000.
C raise fold. Fold. C2 fold.
Wild Joe says, sorry to be that guy, but what's the current payouts? We have just hit the six-figure payouts. Next player gets just shy of 125 grand.
At least there's only 4 payouts left to be listed, which is 123, 160, 225, and the winner, 363.
We talked earlier on about the prospect of a deal because of the difference in prize money. Now we're down to 4. Any chance you think? Do you think we need to lose another player? Maybe do some three-handed business?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen four-handed now.
C2 fold.
have a look at the chip stacks. I mean, Sociano's got 112 bigs. State's got 80. Peroni's got 66. And Montalban's got 32. These guys are all going to feel like they have too many chips, I think. But if we can somehow... The blinds are up in like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, and then they're going to go up every 40 minutes.
And we've got it all in from Montalban. That is the shortest stack. 32 big blinds, shipping it with deuces.
Well, he hasn't run into it, so gets a fold.
Adesso salgo tutti. Mica mi ha chiesto quando ho vinto 600.000 a Praga. Dammi 300 per il 10%. Io sono andato al premio, sono andato via, capisci? Perché eravamo in camera insieme a Praga, fare PT. Non gli ho dato, perché era scarso. Mica l'ha vinto, ha fatto secondo.
Yes, Jal, they are playing down to a winner today, we hope.
Thank you. Sorry. Another tournament. Non now. Ma tu lo sai, parli italiano, sai di cosa stiamo parlando? Ok. No, per rispetto. The referee. C2 fold. C3 raise 500,000.
Not too much analysis to be done there.
So when we were talking a short time ago, Joe, about all the stuff that's coming up,
Yes.
the Sunday Million stream, the Irish Open, EPT Monte Carlo, there is something else coming up, which I don't think we're in a position to talk about yet, but you and I will actually be in Europe from the start of April, and before the Sunday Million anniversary, there's a chance there'll be something special that we're working on.
Something very, very special.
Can you put your cards in the box, please? C3 raise 500,000. C6 fold.
Jacks, four-handed, nice. Raises to 500,000. Peroni in the small blind with ace-4.
Wow.
Disciplined. Sevens for the chip leader who defends his big blind.
Hooks versus hatchets.
Crucially did not re-raise, so we go to the flop. That flop being 9-8-7, because it is always coming.
Can you lose 20 million here?
C3 check.
Oh! Jack on the turn. It's set over set sickness.
Can you win 20 million here? You know, it'd be awesome, a 10 on the board. Put the 10 out there.
C3 bets 500,000.
All right, here we go. Here we go. If you got a set, you got to get some more money in here, right? Look at this board. Nope. Oh, my God.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Full house over full house.
Oh, this is so unlucky.
Sociano leads for 1.3 million. Get your chips in. Get your chips in. Get your chips in for the lads.
Now, Jacks could play it safe here. There could be quad nines.
5 seconds.
Sociano is an enemy of the state.
I do think that Starte is going to raise here, but there is a chance that Sociano just calls the raise and doesn't re-raise.
It's a lot of freaking chips to get in.
Raise, C3, 9 million.
Oh, he's made it massive.
Yeah.
9.5 million. Awesome sizing.
There's like plenty that sevens are losing to here, right? Pocket nines, pocket jacks. State maybe opening jack nine. How many suited combos are out there? Jack nine of spades.
He's called it.
Oh,
He calls the raise, and that is going to see a change in the table dynamic. Starte now the chip leader with 30 million, as Sociano drops down to 17 million because of that house over house sickness.
8, 9.
At this point, let's get Nick Walsh back in the mix. Nick, you have missed some quite spectacular hands over the course of the last 50 minutes.
You say I missed it. I was sat here watching it. I know you guys saw me gesticulating. There was some absolute madness happening. I'm glad I've arrived to see some of it now. That was a pretty significant cooler, but State's been so patient all day. I'm glad to see his patience getting rewarded here. Very unfortunate for Sociano, who was obviously on a massive tear. But, guys, I got to say, that ace-jack suited hand, not only a wild pre-flop decision, but the run-out is, like, absurd.
Absurd run-out. And to have a post-turn flip? What do you think about that sizing? I know you're a big sizing geek. That raise that we saw on the river from Starte.
Yep. No, perfect. And you guys will notice it was the effective all-in, right? It was pretty much the all-in. It was almost all of State's chips there. And, yeah, just awesome. It's obviously the kind of texture where you're thinking to yourself, if this guy has trips, I might get paid. If this guy has a worse boat, I might get paid. If he has a random 10, I might get paid. And I think that's kind of what inspires the largest sizing. But, yeah, beautiful stuff. Really like the size and getting rewarded.
So Starte in control of this four-handed final table as we move into level 37, blinds 150,000, 300,000 with a 300K big blind ante. This being the first of the 40-minute blind levels. A reminder that if/when we get down to 3 players, the blind levels will go to 30 minutes. I don't think they'll get any shorter than that.
Guys, have we had any chat of talk? I've been watching without the sound on, and all I've seen is play, so nothing yet.
No deal talk, Nick. No deal talk.
C8 raise 700,000. C2 fold. C3 fold.
All right, so play continues, guys. And short-handed poker, nobody loves it more, James.
Graças por paciência. Follow C6.
And we've referred a few times today to Manuel Montalban being a sit-and-go specialist. And here he is at a four-handed final table, albeit as the shortest of the 4 stacks. Montalban going to the flop here against Peroni. Ace-4 against sevens, and sevens still good.
Yep, still pretty deep stack, guys. Montalban is the shortest stack, James, but still around 35 big blinds to start the hand, so lots of playability.
Hopefully, Sociano will recover from that. And we've seen him exhibit examples of impatience, frustration when variance doesn't favor him. Hopefully he can keep it together.
Yep. He's got 69 big blinds left. Nice.
He should be all right.
I mean, in the right hand, 69 big blinds on a final table might as well be a million. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay, well, getting involved with 7-4 of hearts feels unnecessary. 10-9 of hearts, the Grafton for the new chip leader.
Yeah, got to play this one. It's the Grafton.
Peroni folding the big blind, so heads up to the flop. Well, if they put a bunch of strawberries out there, that would be interesting.
That would be a spicy one. Let's see what they got for us on the flop. Oh.
Not enough spice. Not a single strawberry. Instead, a pair of fours for Sociano.
Not enough sweet. Ooh. Now, James, I don't know about you, mate, but I would say that this is a pretty unconventional line. I wonder if State is starting to get a bit of a live read on Sociano here. Because to find a raise on that texture with this combination is pretty OOL. Does get called.
It's going to take more than one barrel. Okay, so Sociano checks, and State can bet chunky here. It's going to be hard for Sociano to continue in the hand, although he may be chasing chips, you know what I mean? It's like, I want revenge against this guy. I want to beat him.
I mean, yeah, the Jacks versus 7 spot really is a super cooler. Not a whole lot you can do. Most players are not going to be able to let that one go, understandably. Oh, State, very aggressive. I like it. 2.2 mil. Oh, James. James has got the reads, man.
Snap calls. Snap calls. The river is an 8.
That is an Ocho.
And I don't know. I kind of feel that if Sociano checks under normal circumstances, you could really put him in the blender here. I think this might just be a give-up spot. Although that's 8 million chips in the middle. You don't want to give up a pot of 8 million. Oh, it's so hard. What can you bet that will push him off this hand?
5.5 million.
Considering the dynamic between these two specifically.
Oh my gosh. Can he find another one? I don't know, James. I think he must be picking up on something live, because like I said, this is already pretty wild. Question is, does he go for his read? Nope, he's gonna give it up.
I actually think that that is wise, and he can see the 4 and muck.
Man, incredible stuff. I really like the line for the 9-10 though as well. I think against the right opponent that would work, but as you say, Sociano just really wants to battle.
It's the wrong opponent at the wrong time. I think because of that hand with the house over house, Sociano's out for revenge. He's needled. At a different point, I think he folds the 4. It's previous action is informing future action for sure, as we see the stacks and we see that Starte still has the big chip lead, although Sociano has closed the gap. Peroni hovering around 55 big blinds, Montalban around 25 bigs at this 200, 400 blind level.
Six raise 625.
Button raised from Montalban with King Queen. Sociano defending his big blind with Queen 9. Ace, Jack, 6. Oh no, the cable falling out again.
Got to get the Intense Pro back out.
We've already established that Tandy is closed on a Sunday, so got to make it work with the odds and ends that we've got lying around this place.
All right, just a bet and a take it on the flop. So 4 players remain, still quite deep stacked.
It is, although with the blinds now 40 minutes, we should be able to cycle through a few levels to get us to a point where it gets a little bit shallower and or forces the action.
Yeah, short-handed here as well, James, as we've already mentioned on a few occasions. That does mean we got to get aggressive.
And to go back to your point, Nick, and we've discussed it a few times about the prospect of a deal, and you asked the question a short while ago. Again, this is not a criticism, it's an observation. I don't think with that dynamic, for example, between Sociano and Starte, that there is much chance of a amicable deal being done at this final table.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, mate. I think you're right. So far, your live reads have been on point, James. Although, we did actually see an elimination before the dinner break. That was the only one you got wrong.
That is true. That is true.
That's more
but
logistical.
I'm seeing a lot of emotion and passion from some players, and it speaks to me, because that's the kind of dumb stuff I do when I'm playing poker. So that's the kind of game that we're clearly observing here, as we see top pair for both players. Starte with kicker issues.
Yeah, this was a blind encounter, so quite a few chips went in there in the middle. The initial raise was to 750. And we are going to go to a turn.
500,000 apiece. Jack on the turn, and Sociano now better than a 9-1 favorite.
Yeah, I don't think we should slow down if we're going to bet this flop. I think this is definitely value. Let's go to the turn and put some chips in. Sticking around.
Ten on the river. And this could get checked to showdown.
Yeah, I'm not sure checking here is what you want to do, James. It is kind of a run out where, yeah, your opponents will have some 2 pairs and stuff, maybe, but like, I think probably just betting and then reassessing is better. You have such a strong hand.
That pot was significant. They're now almost even in chips. Starte has the slight advantage, but it's very close between 1 and 2 on the leaderboard.
They're almost even Stevens.
Yeah, almost even Stevens. Okay, this is starting to make me feel sick. Ooh. Okay, get it. Trophy.
All right, let's get back to it.
C2 raise 650. C3 fold. Call.
Montalban defending his big blinds, this button open from Sociano. Oh.
Oh.
Jack 10-4, 2 pair for Sociano. Fortunately for Montalban, he hasn't connected. If that picture card is a king rather than a jack, it could spell disaster.
Yeah, just a bet and a fold here, I think. No action for the 2 pair.
But that pot enough to give Sociano the chip lead, right?
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah, you shake that fist, pal. So Macbeth asking, who has to show cards first in a showdown? Is there a rule? What if both check at the end? So there used to be this annoying rule that it was last aggressor has to show first. So the dealer would then have to try and remember and go through the betting action, like who was the last aggressor, who bet the flop. If it goes check, check on the river, the player out of position, strictly speaking, should show first.
Yeah, I think in the modern game, it's kind of just it's like a respect thing. You kind of just, if you got the hand, turn it over. You say, yeah. If you kind of just muck your cards, people usually just let it happen. You're allowed to request to see them always, of course, but only if it goes to showdown. If I go quiet or something, guys, you'll see my audio is a bit funny. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hola, 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 hola.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nick loves the Marine Corps.
3 fold. 6 fold.
1,
6
2, 3.
6 C-rate raise 600.
Peroni in the small blind raises to 650,000. Gets a fold from Sociano in the big.
Uno,
two, tre.
Sta molto lungo da arrivare. Per arrivare, esatto. Ma magari ci ha preso in giro neanche.
Sounds like I'm 10 light years away from the mic.
Non preoccuparti.
Oh dear.
Gli diamo,
Not sure why that would be the case.
gli diamo il passaggio.
Alas, Nicholas, what I hear does not represent what the audience hears, so I can't help you. You sound fine to me, but clearly there's a routing issue.
Oh dear.
8 or 8. Yeah.
Montalban raising with Queen Jack. Starte with King Queen in the big blind.
7 more.
So we do have a domination situation as we go to the flop. Starte defending his big blind.
Sì, caffè, sì, volentieri, grazie.
9-8-3 on the flop with 2 hearts.
Yep, neither player quite connected, but 2 more cards and a gut shot for Montalban means we still have about 32% equity in this circumstance.
Grazie, Prego. Check. Check. Que nosotros no tenemos fans, no tenemos amigos.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Queen on the turn gives Montalban top pair and a gut shot. Starte top pair, better kicker, and 82% equity. Looks like Montalban's betting.
Yeah, understandably, this should really be a value bet. We can see here, obviously, out-kicked. We got kicker problems, guys.
$800,000 is the bet. Starte with excellent instincts, pretty good at figuring out where he is in a hand.
Yeah, and actually another player, James, who I've commended in previous situations for finding really nice opportunities to put more chips in for value. I wonder if we see a raise even here. Oh, it's just, people just don't find these spots, James, and they don't get them right either when they try.
So he has raised it to 2.4 million.
This just shows so much awareness. So many players just play this one slow, James, because they're going, what if this, what if that? And he says, no, this is value, I'm going for it.
With Montalban calling here, we're in a situation where Montalban has less than pot behind. We've got 6.5 million in the middle. Montalban has 4.6 million behind. And Starte could easily shove on him, dependent on the river.
That's about, I don't want to say brick, obviously complete some straights and stuff, but if they don't already have Jack 10, you're going to do really well often because, you know, 5-6, excuse me, isn't really a thing here. So in reality, this is pretty bricky, and I think there's a chance State is going to recognize this is a value shove.
24.
He does shove on Montalban, all into call, and if he does call here with top pair, he is out in 4th place.
You know what, James, this is made so much tougher by the fact that so few players find a check raise with a hand like King Queen on this turn, right? A lot of players will do this with, you know, Jack X where they had a straight draw, maybe some 10X where they had a straight draw, you know, maybe a flush draw where they're blocking the Jack 10 straight, something like, I don't know. It's just one of those spots where the fact he's found such a good raise on the turn kind of it's going to work in his favor here because, you know, there's just not that many players that even find the check raise with the King Queen in the first place.
This is a decision for Montalban's tournament life. He started today as chip leader. He is now the shortest stack at this final table. He's playing time bank cards.
James, this doesn't help the fact that he's got the Jack in his hand, right? He's got one of the cards that State is representing here, which is, of course, Jack 10 as a possibility. And for that reason, I would struggle so hard to fold this here against a player who I've seen play very good poker, very capable of bluffing. And that's the key. That's the thing about balance. Sometimes they're going to be bluffing. He calls.
He calls all in, and that is going to take us down to 3 players in the PokerStars Open Campione main event. Start of day chip leader, Montalban, eliminated in 4th place. He will receive 123,760 euros. Everyone else has now locked up 160 grand, and we're going to see the blind levels reduced to 30 minutes from the start of the next level. Now we are 3-handed. And how impressive is this guy, Nick?
Yeah, honestly, I can only say good things about his play so far. There have been moments where he's sort of shown aggression and you know, kind of run into it. There's been moments when he's not got it 100% right, but he's playing such excellent poker, and he's doing so much more right than he's doing wrong, and just shown so much prowess and so much finesse and so much skill. So few players will check raise that turn, and he's just nailed it. Everything about it just spot on. And,
what year is it? 2025, that's right. Has he reclaimed the chip lead after that hand?
I think he has, James. Is that over 24 million now? I mean, no, it'll be over 30 now.
Over 30, right. So he's put some distance between himself and Sociano.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 pretty big stacks. We're deep stacked three-handed.
James, I, for one, cannot wait to see how this goes three-handed. We know Sociano's a player that's willing to play outside the box. Perrone's got a little bit of swagger to him. We've seen him make some cool moves, and State has just been so solid.
Okay, so the stacks aren't quite that deep because they've got the blinds wrong on the graphic again. It's 200-400 right now. But State is the chip leader with 32 million. Sociano, 25 million. Perrone with 16 million. And you often equate three-handed play to a spin and go, half tongue-in-cheek, but sometimes at this point of the final table, it's relatively shallow, so it does kind of play like a spin. You don't get this many chips in a spin and go. No spin plays this deep stacked.
Yeah, I always say that in jest, obviously, guys, because I'm trying to make myself relatable in some sense. But we do find ourselves three-handed. James, you're quite right. We are way too deep to consider this anything close to a spin and go. That's just in terms of chips. But the pay jumps are what really, really make it a different sort of kettle of fish. 160K for third, 225 for second, 363 for first. And that means the ICM still exists, and there's still considerations that need to be taken into account in order to navigate our way into larger payouts. And James, mate, I think you might be right. I don't think we're talking deals. We're not even going to get close until perhaps heads up. And even then, I don't know. Not a whisper so far. So action here, raise call, pre-flop, check on the flop so far from the ace tray.
3 bet 600.
And a C bet. These two have history now as well, James, of course, you know. State actually got to see that showdown, let's not forget. When he called him down with the 7-4, he saw that hand. He has information, so that's going to be present in his mind here. Turns the diamonds. Why stop now? We know he hates to fold. We know he's a sticky individual in the poker sense, of course.
5 seconds. 3 bet 1.8 million.
1.8 million.
1,850,000.
I mean, we assume he's got to find some folds here.
I will imagine. Look at that. I'm folding an ace.
Can you believe it? Shows the A's. right, next hand.
Sit to raise, 750.
So pocket jacks going to kick us off here in the small blind. Certainly not going to give it up pre-flop. Having absolute position blind feet blind, the queen 7 of hearts is actually pretty high up. Flop is 5, 6, 5, 2 spades.
Sit to bet, 500.
And going to just fire 600K, it looks like. Excuse me, 500. Whoa. Zoom out.
Sit 3 point.
Okay, a little bit of hope here for the queen 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gut shot, straight draw, and 1 overcard to the jack.
Sit 3 bet, 2 million. Sit 2 4.
So bet and a call. A little bit of representation. Sociano kind of underrepresenting his hand in a way that's actually quite beneficial.
2 check.
And then question mark as to whether or not State wants to continue representing. Does block a straight. Obviously will have some 5x as well.
Yep.
Maybe some 6s and trays. That seems pretty reasonable. Do we go again? State now also needs to start thinking about his opponents. This guy doesn't like to fold. We've seen this before.
Sit 3 bet, 3 million.
Oh, beat him into the pot. Beat him into the pot. State went for it, understandably so, but the jacks will take this down.
Back in the day, we would say that he got his hand caught in the biscuit tin.
Who used to say that? The British Empire.
It was a classic poker cliche. in America, the line was he got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
That's what I'm saying.
I was translating for a European audience where the line was in the biscuit tin.
In the biscuit tin.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the biscuit tin. That's gonna be the name of my pub, James. The biscuit tin. There you go. What happened to you, Ronnie? I got stuck in the biscuit tin. Uh-oh, Spraggy, small blind.
8 4. That's it.
Six.
Sit 3 bet, 600.
Yeah, the Spraggy has outperformed its reputation today.
I have to say as well, pocket jacks have seemed to be quite a hot hand, unusually so. Joe was suggesting earlier, James, that something in the water out there in Campione means the Spraggy works and pocket jacks seem to work more often than they should.
Well, maybe Spraggy should play poker in Campione.
I think we should all play poker in Campione. Seems like a nice place. We've seen some wild poker as well.
1.6, yeah. Sit 3 call.
It's not working, Peroni. Give up.
Uh-oh. Perone.
He obviously didn't hear me. Give up.
Yeah.
Stop.
This is wild,
Cease.
dude. This is wild, dude. So it went raise call pre-flop. Now Peroni wants to say that he's trying to rep a set. I don't know.
So here's a question, Nick. Am I right in saying, and maybe I'm being too harsh here, if you are going to bluff, you really want to be bluffing with something that has some chance, some small element of equity, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably very commonly bluffed hands here are hands that contain a 3 or a 4 or a flush draw. Doing this with no hand, no equity, and where you're not really representing anything strong pre-flop either, right? You haven't 3-bet pre-flop. You're not going to have ace-jack. You're not going to have ace-king. You're not going to have ace-queen.
Oh, no.
You might have ace-5. No.
I mean, I love the way, by the way, he started to snap checks the river. It's like, by all means, be my guest. Put more chips in.
Well, note also State here has the 7 of hearts, so it makes it even less likely that Perone is going to be doing this with a flush.
Oh, my word. More chips into the abyss.
Wow. He's just decided he's going to do it this hand. And a quick call.
5 million. I mean, he bluffed off half his stack there, leaving himself with 6 million. We talked about the fact that this is super deep stacked. Not anymore. We've got 2 big stacks, one incredibly big stack, that being the chip leader, State. And now we do have a legitimate short stack, that player being Peroni.
Yeah, that was a big misstep, James, and I think you've correctly spotted. When we do these things, we kind of want to have blockers or something going on, some chance to take the pot, some reason for your opponent not to have a piece enough to call. And he's just blasting off trying to represent something, but there you have it. Nice pickup there again for State.
Obviously, I'm seeing some of the commentary from the viewers. I would remind you guys that there is a whole range of PokerStars Opens happening between now and the end of the year, and a silver pass that you could win via Power Path would get you to a future PokerStars Open. So if you fancy yourselves in one of these 1K tournaments, you pays your money, you makes your choices.
Thank you.
So after that exchange, James Perone sees himself around the 20-ish big blind mark. The 2 other players around 100 plus. So really,
wow.
ICM handcuffs are off. Peroni needs to start getting chips in the middle, in a controlled fashion. Still nice long blind levels here, but he's the player that is allowed to gamble the most because he has the most to improve to do something in this event.
So Peroni gambles, doesn't get lucky, and then we have 100 big blinds each, heads-up battle till 5 a.m. I'm here for it.
James, at least if it goes Socianu State heads up, something tells me that it is the wildest heads up 100 big blind deep heads up battle we've ever seen.
For one of the players, at least, it'll be a battle of egos rather than chips. That's right, Ed. The next 2 PokerStars Opens are Namur in Belgium. That happens at the end of May, and Malaga in Spain in June. Of course, there's the Irish Open coming up. Not officially a PokerStars Open. It's a PokerStars sponsored event. But if you play at the Irish Open, the tournaments there do contribute towards the PokerStars Live League. We are about to roll into the next blind level, which will be the first of the 30-minute blind levels. Just play that 1 level before taking the next break.
Heads up, blind v blind.
There is a 7 for State. We don't know Socianu's hold cards yet.
We don't know what he's holding. He is going to continue after that raise pre. 8-7 is not folding. Oh, that's a nice turn.
I'm going to guess that Starte has the best hand here.
I think most often that would be true. Check from Socianu. Now, James, when we've identified an opponent that does not like to fold, what do we do?
Bet.
Yeah, and we can bet big, too, because we know that they don't like to fold. This is some adoptions we can take to specific profiles.
We bet big. We bet huge. We bet massive.
5 seconds. 6-3 bet.
Yep, 2.8 in the pot makes it 2.5 on the turn.
Oh, yeah.
There's the call.
Usually drink, usually dance, usually bubble. Oh, 4 of spades. And now State has been, excuse me, State has been barreling off very aggressively, James. And he's got an image. He's got an image. Sociano does not believe State, and he has showdown bluffs. Now use your table image. Use the power.
7.5 million.
No, 8.2. Slight overbet to assert dominance.
Oh.
8.5.
Oh! Nailed it!
Close. Close.
I called the overbet, James. I'm calling that that's a prediction. Don't start with me.
Oh, he wants to call so bad. So bad.
Yeah, boy,
He
getting
makes the
paid.
call. And he's not happy.
What's he got, though? What's the showdown?
He doesn't, strictly speaking, have to show. It's not an all-in situation, but he does show a
that is a
jack,
cooler. That is a
king jack.
cooler.
And that is going to give Starte the phenomenal chip lead. He's got nearly 50 million now against Sociano's 17 million. And then, of course, we've got Peroni hovering around, what is it, 5, 6?
Yeah. And look, James, honestly, again, I really feel for Sociano there. That's the second cooler. I mean, like the jacks versus the sevens, boat over boat, is a huge cooler. He could have gotten away from the king jack there, but in reality, it's the table image that gets him paid. State has been playing aggressively.
Okay, 123 big blinds, playing 42 big blinds, playing 17 big blinds. Let's get Joe Stapleton back into the mix. Joe, the table dynamic has changed. Number one, fewer players. Number two, one guy's got all the chips now.
And I can't help but notice it's the year of Romania that has all the chips.
When Sociano had the chip lead, the Romanians were claiming him as well.
Well, it's a good way to hedge.
Starte has played very impressively. Very impressively.
Yeah.
It's one thing to make a hand, right? It's another how to know to get maximum value from it.
Yeah, and like I said, he's leveraged his table image very well. And when you play hyper aggro, your opponents do feel obliged to call. But the sizing and everything over there was so perfect. I like it a lot. Let's carry on now. Ooh, pocket jacks.
I'm short.
Let's go. Play on, play us. State and Maine.
Oh, Peroni can't wait to get it in with the 9-8s. He's going to make the call.
Fair enough.
Yep, it is fair. I would do the same. I would call with this hand too. Not the best flop for jacks. Keep checking. Peroni loves a bluff if you give him the opportunity. And I don't think State is folding turn.
If you got 9 high, you don't have a lot to lose here. I mean, other than all your chips and going out in third, but other than that, you don't have a lot to lose here.
Yep, solid read.
Solid state.
Oh.
Oh, well then.
And
River to set.
check call the river. Oh, Perone.
Shit, 8 red. 1.2 million.
Yeah, and for this size, Joey, we're just always calling, right? I mean, if they got a queen, they got a queen.
They don't got a queen. And more chips for the chip leader. And fewer chips for the chip bleeder. Roni down to around 10 bigs, I want to say, over that hand.
I think you might be right, Joey. It might even be slightly less now. Wait for the graphic. It'll bounce in a sec, but started the hand there without 17 big blinds and did put in a really big chunk. I would say maybe 10 or less than 10 now.
State in position. Threads up poker. Yeah. Peroni started the hand with 9 big blinds this hand.
But this is not even 50%.
Oh, yeah. I thought this is
So just the
You see, you gave me
Peroni.
Cool.
All right, wait a sec, guys.
Yeah.
I think State might have misclicked the button.
Yeah, so it's a call.
So it's being ruled a call.
Yeah, he's calling the button.
So Peroni gets to get in for cheap. And the big blind can get in for real cheap with 7-5. And does. All right, 3 ways. King 8-6. Things continue going the way of State. Top 2 pair. And an up and down draw for Sociano.
Even when he misclicks, he does it right, Joe.
C3 by 400.
State bets 400,000 now. Peroni with the side fold. Sociano calls with the draw. Does not hit the turn.
C2 bet 1 minute.
Wow, leads the turn, Joe. And I have a feeling we're going to see a raise now.
You got to raise this.
Make this 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 is beautiful.
Prediction locked in. Show me 4.5.
How much?
3-5.
Ah,
3 raise. 3.5 million.
still the raise is good. Sociano never folded a
3.5.
draw in his life.
And yeah, Sociano really needs to hit this river. Swing and a miss. Sociano left with 7 high. 9.4 million in the middle. 12 million behind.
5
What?
C2 bet.
Attempts to bluff. Just 1.5 million. Not going to be enough.
What? I am so confused by the bet here, Joe. I don't know what we're targeting to try and get to fold. We've been raised on the turn. I mean, at this point, State could be bluffing with a worse hand. It would still need to call the 1.6.
5 seconds.
I mean, bluffing
trying
with
to
a better hand is what I meant to say.
Trying to get queen high to fold, Nick.
Yeah, I guess so. We're
Trying to
still
get
raising.
9 high to fold.
We're raising. We're definitely raising.
Trying to get 10 high to fold.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just make it like 4. We can go for all of it if we want.
C3 raise 9 million.
Oh, it goes for, yeah. I mean, that's That actually is enough to leave Sociano with a few chips.
Sociano, it's going to take a minute to sulk here, I assume. There are no more plays to be made. And Sociano ditches the 5 high. And that puts State in an even more commanding position. Some people may even say that last hand was catastrophic for Sociano. I think it's going to be easy for people to be very critical over some of the plays we've seen just here. This is flailing. This is desperation. This is what they wouldn't let me call years ago button clicking.
That was some serious button clicking.
It's frustration.
All right, let's see the new stacks. Joey Perrone, less than 8 bigs. Sociano now around the 25 big blind mark. So State putting on a clinic. And it's
just 150 bigs, 3-handed, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. Over 300K up top.
If I was State, I would just be like, you guys want to look at the numbers? Just kidding. Just kidding.
I mean, I keep saying over 300K, over 350K, 363,000 reasons to crush this final table.
I mean, just your rounding error is still a lot of money. It's 13,000 you're just rounding off.
Oh,
wow,
1 second.
Okay.
9 contro K.
So State jammed into Perrone, who called it off with 9 deuce.
What?
That's what my records are indicating. Domination situation.
I mean, Joe, if we're short, we got to gamble, but I don't know if this is the right hand.
It's a double down hand, Nick.
It is. We're
always
playing
double
blackjack.
down on 11. Jack 7-5, 2 hearts. Perrone does not get any help on the turn. Needs to hit a 9 to survive. Can we hit him with the 9? The river is a tray ball. That's going to do it for Barnaba Perrone.
Dove sei? Stavo venendo a cercarti. Ottimo lavoro.
Who has been dispatched in third place for a very respectable 160,000 euros.
Se me lo chiedevi mercoledì firmavo per molto meno.
And let's pay this man his due, who just won more than 160 times his entry into this event. And we are now heads up for the title in the first ever PokerStars Open. 24,023 total entries, now down to 2. And this is traditionally time when we take a small break. Giorgio Sociano gonna have his work cut out for him. 26 big blinds versus the 156 big blinds of Adrian Sorel State. A better than 6-1 chip lead for State. First ever PokerStars Open Campione has not disappointed. We're going to take a brief break while we reset for heads up, but when we get back, someone's going to win 225,000 euros and someone's going to win 363,000 euros. Back in just a few.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I'm so excited to be here on this GPI award-winning podcast.
Wow. When a guest does research, that really is the best.
All the feedback's been super positive. Even my non-poker, like a lot of my non-poker friends and family have seen it on TV or like in bars, and they're like, "That's my friend. Like she's playing poker like on TV." And yeah, they all love it. It seems to reach a general audience really well, like, which is great because it's not just super pokery jargon that people can't understand. It's like it's very digestible, and that's been really cool. I don't know if I've watched all the episodes.
Episode 5 is probably like you're still waiting to revisit.
Because I know the ending and I just don't want to watch it. I liked the beginning parts where like the first couple episodes where we were, winning money, and that was awesome. That was really fun for me to do. The experience of playing with that cast of people is priceless. I may never get that experience again. And being able to like fling in $100 black chips like they're pennies, that is just such a fun feeling. In my games, the black chips are the largest denomination. So it's like, whoa, I got a stack of black chips. I'm rich. But on the big game, you're just like, they're in the back row. They're like, oh, I'm down to black chips. Ooh, gross.
I'm sure you've heard, Nikki, we are going to be doing a new season. We are going to be filming more episodes of the Big Game on Tour at NAPT Las Vegas 2024. What advice would you offer to someone who's thinking about trying out for the Big Game next time around?
Study a shootout strategy. I guess that's number one, because you got to get through that first. That was like the biggest what if, because we don't know, anything can happen in a tournament. And then, but for the audition, the actual audition part, if you make it to that stage, be 100% yourself. Don't be afraid to like hide your weird. I think that people are so conditioned, I don't know, by society and stuff to like hide their weird parts. And I'm very in tune with just embracing the weird parts. And I think it's healthy. It's like all that shadow work stuff that you do, where it's like you just bring it all to the surface, and maybe you say something stupid, but then you just kind of go with it and lean into it. I think that just leaning into your authentic self is always better on camera than trying to like be something, like trying to like pre-plan, like, oh, I'm gonna be like this type of person on camera. Like that's not people, unless you're very trained, like people are gonna know it's not you.
What I wanted to know is, how did this audition, because must have been on plenty of auditions in your life, how did this compare to those other auditions, both in sort of a literal way, but also like an emotional way? Like, how much did you want this compared to other gigs you had gone on?
That's a great question. So much more.
Really?
So I think in the beginning of my career, I wanted to be on sitcoms. That was like my huge dream, was to be like a sitcom actor. And so I got really close a couple of times where like I made like the top 3, and it didn't even go, but whatever. Like a pilot didn't launch, and then like one I got like, I was like runner up and didn't book the role. That one ended up going, but a lot of disappointment. And those ones, I did really want them. I wanted them because I wanted to be an actor all my life. But at a certain point, like there's not like a lot of productions I've been on where I'm like, wow, that was like so much fun. It's like 14 hours a day on set, and like you only get to be in a scene like for a couple hours, and maybe you get to be funny, maybe not. Maybe you have to do stupid writing and, like say lines that you don't think are that great. And like, there's a lot of like, you get to know the real version of what that dream is. And it's not as exciting as I thought it was. This particular show, I watched so many episodes and I thought that would be so fun to be the loose cannon. I'm so bummed that I got into poker so late that they don't have this show anymore. And like, I watched so many episodes and was just like, man, I wish they just still did shows like this. Why don't they do shows like this? It would bring so many more people and like interest in the game. And like, I just missed that whole generation of when they had fun poker shows. And so anyway, when I heard you guys were bringing it back, I was so stoked, not even to be on it, just to watch it again, to like see the show again. And weirdly, before I moved to Vegas, I was like, one day I want to play at a table with Phil Hellmuth, Jennifer Tilly. I had like a dream cast in my head. I had like Phil Ivey and Dean Eggs in there too. But like to even play with any of those people so quickly is just like insane. Like it's kind of like a weird manifestation thing.
Do you think you could put me on your next vision board to get whatever it is you want in this world? Like just add like a mansion for me, or maybe like a Beamer or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it seems like you have a lot of control in this universe. I mean, nothing huge, just a sack full of money falling on my front porch, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure to remember when I'm doing my next vision board.
Yeah, your manifestation powers are out of this world.
My what?
Your manifestation powers are out of this world.
They actually are. It's really bizarre. Like people have been pointing that out more and more. I gotta acknowledge it.
There is one thing you were not able to manifest, though, and that was you wanted to be berated by Phil. You wanted a help movie blow up. And I was wondering after that, like, let's be honest, Phil was quite quiet, generally speaking, at the table, both in terms of his poker play, but also verbally. I thought, maybe he has changed. And then this clip went viral about 2 weeks ago. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
he was clearly just having a quiet day.
Why couldn't it have been me, Phil? Why?
So playing five-handed at this final table. The main event, EPT Baden, Season 3 of the European Poker Tour, October 2006. Jack 10 of diamonds for Dario Minieri, and this will be a raise from the button. Turned at win in the big blind with King 10.
Not going to be folding the King 10 versus the button open. Maybe sometime considering going all in, depending on Dario's stack. Do look like raisin chips to me.
Sides just a call, has his opponent dominated, but he's out of position without the betting lead as they go to the flop, which is 9-6-5.
Not a whole lot going on for either player. Does look like Tang is going to lead the flop though.
What do you make of this?
I mean, it's a pretty decent board for him in general, but he has no good shot. He has no backdoor flush draw.
Called by Dario.
Minieri calling with a couple of backdoors, picks up the up and down draw on the turn.
If you are going to bluff flop with King 10, and you get a 4 to a straight card on the turn, I'd probably be tempted to continue.
Dario bets 50,000.
With the action check to Minieri, fires 50k into the pot.
Dario just always playing street poker. Wow, are we going to see a raise on this turn? I don't think he can really check call here.
It's called by time.
Okay.
He has called.
I mean, he has a good shot, I guess, to a straight.
5 of hearts.
Okay, so the board bricks out for both of them. It's 2006, Vincent. The question is, who wants it more?
I feel like Dario has to pull the trigger here on the river. He can't check.
Okay, so do we see a rebluff from Tandut Win? Does he call with King High?
No way. If we see either of those things happen, I'm not trying to guess what is going to happen again at any point.
You know what? Neither is beyond the realms of possibility.
I would love it. He doesn't look ready to fold just yet. I think this is just Dario's reputation for always bluffing. It makes you want to outplay him. It makes you want to get the bluff in against him.
Oh, shows it.
Missed. Right on the turn. Very good bluff there by Dario.
A very good bluff there by Dario.
I love it.
And the players taking a short break as they come to the end of that level.
Jonathan pass. Thomas pass. Freddy pass. Michael pass. Vincent pass.
Well, this guy's a name. This is Anders Berg, who played online as Donald and had an avatar of Donald Duck.
Oh, yeah. I did tons of coverage of this dude during those old Scoop and W Coop shows I used to do.
Up comes ace of spades, queen of hearts.
So this is top pair versus second pair.
Let's check.
Ten. 10. Well, I said 10 on this. It's 10, right?
Yeah, I understand it, sorry. Luca bets 10,000 on the score.
Very reasonable defend from Berg in the big blind. Seems good to this point.
I was just about to say seems reasonable, and look at that, a very reasonable two-pair on the turn.
This is probably a hand that could go either way for Pagano. It is a turn he's going to want to bluff somewhat frequently with all those gut shots around Jack 10 and King 10 and King Jack. I'm not sure if he can get 3 streets with the Ace 5 given his kicker problem. And of course you risk this with what is kind of a mediocre hand. I like Berg's jam.
31,500 more.
Yeah. He's out of position, so he doesn't want the river to go check, check, and potentially lose value against a strong ace or a strong draw. Maybe something like, you know, ace X of hearts with the top pair and the nut flush draw.
Leave it there.
So plenty worse to be called by.
Luca call.
And there it is.
Luca calls. So Berg here better than a 4-1 favorite, but he is the at-risk player.
Luca shows ace 5. He got one pair aces.
3 or 5.
Let's see the river cards. It's a
3 on the river. Berg's 2-pair counterfeited. And he's eliminated by Pagano.
Just had to ask for the card, right?
Cash is out for 38,000 euros, and that's going to take us down to 36 players.
Stanley Tucci.
He looks nothing like Stanley Tucci.
He looks enough for me to have said that.
Luca calls.
I think you were just thinking about Stanley Tucci.
I was actually. He's been putting out some great stuff on social media.
Lives down the road from me. So it's Pablo Ubiana who's called here.
Big blind check, and here's the flop.
Jack 9 against 7 deuce, and Luca's flopped pretty good.
I'm beginning to see why Luca is climbing the leaderboard. The worthless, means nothing EPT leaderboard.
Pablo bets 15,000.
Well, it's a long way back for Ubiana. With the 7 deuce, he's going to start bluffing on the flop. Pagano delighted at the prospect.
And Luca's going to raise.
And check raising. Which I like. I think there might be an tendency to slow play with the trips here, but there's so many worse hands that can call you, so many draws. Obviously with a 2-tone flop, you've got clubs. And then a myriad of straight draws as well.
All in.
Go. Excuse me?
Don't forget, chance that someone's going to have absolutely nothing and try to bluff you with it.
Oh, no. Pablo blasts off with 7 deuce.
Pablo blows it.
Let's see a turn and river. You're 0% to win. Let's see what comes down.
There's a tree. And we have
Give him a 6 street.
Look at him shaking his head. Oh, that doesn't help.
A deuce and
It never will.
next player out.
So Pablo Abierna out in 28th place, cashes for 42,100 euros. What an unnecessary situation he found himself in there. Luca Pagano, now very much part of the PokerStars family again here in Campione, which is hosting the first ever PokerStars Open. And we have reached the final stage of the main event. We are going heads up in this 1K tournament. 2 players remain from a starting field of 2,423. It is Sorel State from Romania.
Here in Romania.
Versus Giorgio Socianu from Italy via Romania.
Year of Romania.
And that is the trophy they are playing for, plus a not insignificant difference in prize money. 225,000 euros to the runner-up, 363,000 euros to the winner.
So for those of you keeping score at home, that is a 130,000 some odd euros difference. 138,000.
And talking of differences, Joe, we should highlight the massive discrepancy in the chip stacks as they come into this heads-up battle.
Yes.
Starte starting the heads-up battle with 62,156 big blinds. Socianu with 10 million, 26 big. So this is effectively a 26 big blind heads-up battle, and the blinds will go up in around 17 minutes.
So if I was State, I would offer a deal right now, and I would say, here's the deal.
Okay.
You take second place money, and we'll play for the difference.
That's not a deal.
That's the deal I would offer.
Oh, I get it. I get it. That, as I said earlier on, Joey, it's been a very long weekend.
Remember, this one is supposed to be big blind now, right? Yes.
But also, I would be so loopy that I would think that that was a deal.
On seat number 200, 400,000.
Yep. Thank you. Yep.
We're playing 2-4-4.
So Andre's watching on YouTube has been talking about Starte, saying that he is considered right now to be the best player in Romania by his fellow pro friends. Always been super solid, a player that's very well respected by the Romanian poker community. And as we highlighted earlier on, we've seen him on the EPT. I think he has an EPT trophy. I think he's won an EPT side event.
His game is State of the art.
And he's going to play a limping strategy with his button. Socianu raising from the big blind.
The button goes limp from time to time. So dominated but suited.
Indeed, calls in position, and we will see the first flop of the first hand of heads-up poker.
It does kind of stink to not be live here.
No 4 on the flop. By the way, I wish we'd actually put the location on the flop. I really feel that we need a kind of visual reminder of where we are.
You mean Campione?
Yeah. If only they'd written it really, really large on the flop shot so I knew where we were.
The weird thing is I've been staring at this flop shot for as many hours as you have, but if you would just turn the screen blank and then ask me if it said Campione anywhere on the table, I would have a hard time answering you.
It was my sarcastic observation about the fact that it says PokerStars Open Campione!
Well, now that I saw what it looks like there and some of the scenic views,
yeah,
I'm even more annoyed I didn't get to go.
Yeah, I think I'd feel differently had I not already been there. I'm not the kind of person who has that been there, seen it, done it attitude, but it is one of those places where I do feel I've had that experience and I don't necessarily need to repeat it.
I want to go in that lake. You can't go in the lake, right?
I not being funny, I don't think I've ever seen you go anywhere near a body of water ever.
I mean, for filming stuff, I've been in
That's true.
pools.
That's true. You've been in the sea and you've been in pools, but only for filming purposes.
I don't like being wet in general.
You have a pool in your backyard, and I've never seen you in it.
I do like being in the pool. I don't know. The weather's been bad. I don't know how to explain that one. Domination rotation here in favor of Sociano.
Yeah.
Is that 2 pots so far for Sociano?
Yeah. Chipping up a little bit. Suffice to say, still a huge advantage for Starte.
Okay.
He only has 85% of the chips in play still.
Ti faccio tribolare.
Unfortunately, it rained the whole week. Really nice lake, though. Okay, sorry, Michael. Now the same hand. Oh, look at that. That's some real poker. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to sit all the way at the end of the table. Do you think they'd let me sit closer?
Would you feel like Kim Basinger and Michael Keaton in Batman, where they're having dinner at that stupidly long table, and he's like, let's just get out of here and let's just sit at the kitchen table next to each other?
Yes. I would be like, hey, we're buddies. Like we've been through thick and thin together. We made it to first and second place in this tournament. Let's just hang out.
I know. Well, they sat right next to each other for most of the final table.
Right. I might feel some separation anxiety right now.
Yeah. Thank you to Ed for highlighting it was the 2K mystery bounty at last year's EPT Monte Carlo that Starte won, and that win was worth 232K. Wicked says, I would like your input on putting light location monuments on the felt. What?
Light location monuments.
What does that even mean?
Was that like a Google Translate thing? Like a light, I don't know, like for streamers or something?
So here's my view on putting stuff on felts. Because we've seen many different table designs over the years at many different live events and tours. For obvious reasons, on that flop shot, you want to have the name of the event, the sponsor's name. That's your kind of key shot, right? That's your locator shot. That's everything else. Sometimes contractually, you have the name of the venue in there, as we do here. You got the Casinò di Campione on both sides. Other than that, keep it plain.
I think he's talking about like some BOGOs, maybe, like a projecting an image onto the felt.
No images on the felt. And I'll tell you why. Because you want the felt to be clean, so you can see things like chips, cards, all-in triangles, time bank cards. How many poker games have you seen, Joe, where they've got some fancy felt where you can't make out what people are doing because their chips or their cards are getting lost in the graphics and the pictures?
I can think of one rather large series that was absolute hell on stud games in recent history because no one could see whose boards were doing what.
Again, they have the same hand, king 7.
What is happening? I guess we had plenty of coolers that I can't get annoyed at this, but it's like 6 deuce, 8 deuce, 6 9, 6 9, Jack 4, Jack 5, King 7, King 7. Come on! By the way, are the blinds levels 10 minutes yet now that we're heads up?
Still 30s. Well, that is a chop pot. And Joe, you know what they say?
Everyone loves a chop pot. Tom gave us an 8, but he loves us. Z-Cat gave us an 8, but she loves us. APK gave us a 7, but he loves us. This bum a 3 out of 10. You know what? There's always one. There's always one. You banned.
I do hope those scores were taking into account latency issues. The longer this stream goes on, the more the gap in the latency between myself, Joe, and Nick.
Raksha likes us. Thank you, Raksha. By the way, thanks, Raksha, Tom, other mods. Ed. Yeah.
Ace King versus Queen 5. Ace King still ahead.
All right, now we got the hold cards picking up. Now we just need them to connect with the flop cards.
Yeah, I'm guessing that short break we had between Peroni going out in spectacular fashion and the start of heads-up play, that break not quite long enough for you to crank it, Joe?
You'd be surprised. Sometimes it's not about finishing the cranking. It's just about cranking in general. Sometimes you can, just, that's enough.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we had so many coolers during the last session that we don't really need the cooler machine to do any more work. I mean, if the players are going to get hands like King Deuce versus 9 Deuce, it just plays itself.
I mean, what do we want more than a King Deuce, 9 Deuce setup?
Yeah, absolutely. One for the ages.
I have way too much invested in this. I'm like holding my breath every time they get dealt the cards, and I'm waiting to see what they are.
I want you to audibly hold your breath. I want to.
It's almost there.
9-8-8 advantage, Sociano. Aita asks on YouTube, which channel's chat are they reading? We are across the chat on the PokerStars YouTube channel and the chat on the PokerStars Twitch channel. I know there is the PokerStars UK YouTube channel as well. I can't keep up with a third chat. Limited real estate on my screen, plus I'm old. There's only so many things I can pay attention to at once.
Runout's good for this flops top pair. So Chianu is going to try to get a little value on the river. Probably not going to work. King high is reasonably strong. Heads up. So maybe we see a call of $1 million here. Nope. State gets away.
How are the chips looking now?
Round.
Yeah. And delightful. Nick Walsh back with us on stream to analyze the action in this heads-up battle where State still has a pretty big advantage over Giorgio Sosianu.
Yes, indeed. But, guys, we have arrived at that auspicious moment. We're heads up, no more ICM, and we are 30 big blinds or less heads up to start the hand. You've called me in at the perfect time.
Oh, now they can start ignoring ICM.
Now it's a spin and go for real. So raise call pre-flop. I would say that's an above average flop for King 7.
And the rise of Sosianu very likely continuing here.
Yeah, does check raise here. I like the check raise on this texture. We're also deep enough where if we're not check raising our trips here, we perhaps aren't going to get enough value from them, depending on the opponent type, of course.
For the camera.
We got it.
Camera.
TDS, he really going to run this back? Anything's possible. Wasn't there a super comeback in the last event we covered? Would that have been Prague? I feel like there was a big chip lead in Prague. And the non-chip leader came back and won it.
It was Pedro Marques who eventually won. And I do believe he overcame a chip deficit. Look, it's not uncommon. Having the chip lead heads up is no guarantee of the win.
Because I remember getting called down to do the winner interview and me being like, oh, you won? That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, open-ended straight draw against top pair. Check, check.
Go fast. Check, check. Jeez.
Okay, State now an 84% favorite.
Wow, surprised to see we didn't get a lead from the King 7, but Sosianu has been quite aggro in these scenarios before. State hopefully trying to take advantage of that. I wonder if now we see a check raise.
Check and raise is allowed.
This is quite a small bet. Never mind, I take it back. Pot's already quite small anyway. Yeah, nice work. Pumps it to 1.5. That's 3 times the turn delayed c-bet.
1.5.
We got to see the river.
Okay.
Yep.
Sosianu finally hit a draw.
Nope.
And
still good.
Again, I think we're going for value. Let's just make this 5.2. Can I get another overbet right, James?
You only score half a point, by the way, for predicting the overbet. You get a full point if the sizing is correct.
All right.
4.5.
Okay, half a point then.
There you go. I don't understand, Nick. I'm not very generous with points, so you should take it.
Fair.
What a laydown.
Nice hand, senor.
And we are kicking things up a level. Remember, we had about 17 minutes to play on that previous level. And now we are going to 300,000, 600,000 with a 600K big blind ante.
10 million.
And for Starte, that's absolutely fine. It obviously puts a bit more pressure on his opponent.
6, 5. Yeah.
All right, more heads-up action. This time, State in position. Just a raise and a fold.
Yeah, so a sub 20 big blind stack now for Giorgio Sociano, playing 11 million chips, more than 100 big still for chip leader Adrian Solstarte.
Still doing slightly better than the 6-1 deficit he had to start off.
True dat.
It's only 5.5 to 1 right now.
Every little helps.
Hey, 3 double ups and it's over. Who's all in?
Wow. Ultra aggro.
Small.
So starting this hand, again around 30, 35 big blinds effective.
Oh, we're just playing the ship it game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll play the ship it game. I'm fine with that.
Why are you confused by this, Nick? What's he got, about 16 bigs?
Yep. Just over. I do think there's an alternative way to play this. I don't think we need to be this aggressive, but with the big blind ante in play, it's probably totally kosher. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
I think it's absolutely going to be profitable. I wonder if maybe we might be better against Sociano playing a little bit of a slower angle while we have this huge lead, but...
Nah, you got to look into your opponent's soul and put him to a decision for all of his chips.
Well, that's certainly what we're seeing here, James.
And as I said, I'm a fan. Okay, the limp from Sociano on the button, the check from Starte in the big.
Okay, some potential here.
Yes.
So
post flop flip, and the flush now, the nut flush for Sociano.
How does
with a
Sociano
redraw to a royal? Redraw to a royal.
How does Sociano miss the flop bet? It's like absolute action stations. I think he might have missed a street here on the flop, guys. You don't even care if your opponent has a 10. You got so much equity in this hand. You're happy to put more chips in.
Yeah.
Pretty much no matter what.
Everybody loves a trap.
Okay, well, it's a no-good 2-pair on the river, and the 4 spades on board might not get Sociano paid here.
Got to check here for deception.
Yeah. Too greedy, Nick?
Shove 7 million into 3.8. I don't know. I think actually this is probably not as wild as it seems. You know, if your opponent does have the jack of spades, even the 9 of spades, you might start to level yourself into a call.
We don't die, we polarize.
Yeah, and actually, I think that's at this stage in the tournament, I don't mind it too much.
7,100,000.
7-1.
7,100,000.
You know, if State had a better 2-pair, I think maybe we can still consider calling with 2-pair. But we're losing to every single spade. I'm not sure if Sociani would do this with 2-pair though, or a straight. Wow. Does get paid, and the overbet is going to work. Nice hand,
Wow.
Sociani.
Double up.
That is a full double up. Is this the start of the Socianu comeback? Is this the beginning of his dominance?
Can anyone see that hand that was tabled? Can anyone see that? That's right, Shindu TV. 2 more double ups. He's got it.
So 55 million playing 18 million, 91 bigs playing 30 bigs. 3-1 advantage now for Sorel State. And with 7-5 off, State's going to raise the button. Sociani with a dominated hand, 7-4. Nine, 5-3 on the flop.
State has connected with second pair here. Decides to play it slow. Check, turn.
Three, 4, 5, 7. Nope.
Buono. 7 alta. 7 up. 7 high. 7.
7-4, 7-5. Pair of fives good.
Okie dokie. So Giano ships it with ace-6.
Yeah, this might be just a bit too much. First of all, I think it's too much to shove. I think there's a better way to play ace-6. Second of all, I think that we will push out hands like king 10.
It's okay.
16? 16.
Yeah. It's like 30 big blinds here. A little bit too spicy.
Again, it just must be such a relief to look down at a hand like ace-6 and be like, oh, it's so hard to play heads up. I'm all in. I'm exhausted. I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, it's a relief until they go, yeah, call. Ace king.
Nick, there's only one other player, and you've got blockers to ace king. I don't think that could happen.
Science.
Raise 1,200,000.
Okay, we got another domination situation. King deuce, 4 deuce.
Yeah.
Advantage Sociano.
4 deuce raising, king deuce defending. Kings and deuces for Sociano.
Not a bad start for Sociano.
Nick, you knew that Sociano was an anagram for anus echo, right?
I did not.
Queen of diamonds on the turn. Oh my God. Hey, someone's going to get banned during heads up. Only 363,000 for 2,423 entries for 1K is kind of bad. You know what's kind of bad? That comment. You banned.
Sociano, I think, missing some value here again.
Bet on 3 millions and a half. 3.5.
Wow. Gets called. Oh, wow. We're now down to a 2-1 advantage. I mean, look, State's still in the driver's seat, don't get me wrong. But considering he had a 6-1 advantage when this heads-up battle began.
Yeah, it definitely has chipped up significantly. And as I was saying that just now, despite potentially missing some value on previous streets, certainly got paid on the river. Nice hand, Sociano.
Next thing you know, it's going to be even Stevens, and we're going to be here till 4 a.m.
Bring it on.
Wait, we were here at 4 a.m. You saying we're going to be here at 4 a.m. again?
Just to be clear, Joe, I'm talking local time. It's 1 a.m. in Campione right now. I'm saying if they get even in chips, they could play heads up for another 3 hours.
I don't know what day it is, let alone the time.
It's the early hours of Monday morning in Europe.
Crap, I got to get to work. Okay, here we go. There we go. We got some hands here. Nobody shipping pre-flop.
I suppose we should say happy St. Patrick's Day to all of our European viewers.
Happy St. Paddy's Day with a D. Paddy.
No.
You got a pair over a pair on the flop.
Again. Oh boy.
State.
Snap, snap, check, check.
And
okay, let's have a ridiculous overbet on the river, which gets snapped.
Okay, new prediction, 4.2.
4.2, okay.
4.2 from who?
From State.
Okay.
And it will get called.
Oh.
He goes bigger. He goes 5 million, and there was no hesitation from Sociano before he called that bet.
Yeah, and understandable, actually, to be fair here as well. This is the second time for Sociano as well where he's had a strong top pair where State has managed to turn trips in a very well-disguised manner. Pretty unfortunate, and I really don't begrudge the call there.
Couldn't wait to call. Was champing at the bit to call.
HTC syndrome in effect.
And does that wipe away all the gains that have been made?
Them's the gains.
Okay.
Well, we're going to start with Starte on the button. He is back up to 56 million.
Yeah, pretty much all the gains since I jumped on. Sociano's starting around 30 big blinds. He's back to about 29 now.
3 to 1 again, yeah.
Yeah, calls in the big blind with Jack Deuce of clubs, and we go to the flop. That flop, Jack 9-5, advantage Sociano. Four clubs on the turn, does not change anything.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I think Sociano probably should be sizing the turn differently here, guys. If we want to lead these turns with some of our semi-bluffs, then what we want to do is be going for more like 60% pot or more. When we use these sizings, becomes quite unbalanced when we actually are trying to get folds when we have straight draws or something like that.
Well, State misses a draw this time.
And 1.4, I would argue this is also way too small, guys. Like, we have a pretty well-disguised hand. Our opponent checked the flop. They will have some 9x. They will have some hands that made a pair of 7s. For example, 6-7 was a straight draw on the turn. That is now the 7, pair of 7s on the river. And we can get more from those combinations. And there's the raise. And folds top pair.
The best hand folded. Calls when he's behind, folds when he's ahead.
Yeah. And I think that's a clear indication of where Sociano is in his sizing, right, guys? Because what he's saying is, Jack Deuce, that's not a great kicker. I'm going to bet small, and hopefully I'll get called by worse. And if I get raised, I know I can let it go. And if it wasn't for that sizing, I think probably we wouldn't have seen a raise there.
By the way, we did miss a milestone 6 minutes ago. This final table hit the 12-hour mark. We have actually been on air now for half a day.
No,
my OBS actually indicates 12 hours, 34 minutes, including the 30-minute countdown.
Ooh. Oh, kings here. Sociano limps the button with Jack 4. Raise and a fold.
Sigur nu era mult. Nu, Jack.
No.
Ah, 10 million. Okay.
That's raising with 8-3, gets called by Jack 8. Another domination situation in Sociano's favor, and a 10-9 deuce flop, which gives them an open-ended straight draw.
Sociano really hasn't hit very many draws. Has all the equity here.
Mm-hmm.
That is another whiff.
And that is a pair of 3s for Starte. He's now a 3-1 favorite in this hand.
Oh, no.
Oh, too many outs for Sociano.
Brick.
Jack out. Jack high.
Oh, he's going to be so peed off when he sees this.
I would be too.
I mean, I thought.
You know what? I am.
I thought you might turn that into a bluff. I don't know if we. Don't know why we didn't see the Jack 8 bluff.
We should highlight that all of those gains have gone. Sociano down to 9 million, down to 16 big blinds. He is moving fast and furiously into the danger zone.
Danger zone.
I was going to say, Nick, at some point we're going to get to all-in or fold poker. We're going to get to hands where Starte shoves on in from the button, and we're going to get hands where Sociano moves all in from the button.
Yeah, you're quite right, and we're starting to get to that territory. Don't forget, big blind antes are in play, and therefore there's effectively 2 big blinds in the big blind where there's usually just the one. That means there's a lot more to fight for. It means you bleed twice as fast as the blinds come around, and therefore we are definitely in danger zone territory.
So Starte first to act. He's got the button.
Oh.
All in and a call. Sociano shoving with ace-9. Sorry, Starte shoving with 10-8 and Sociano calling with ace-9. So Sociano may be ahead here, but Starte with live cards has 40%.
Yep, 60-40.
Dang close.
And if live cards get there, it's over. This will be the last hand of the tournament, and we will have our Campione, our champion of the first ever PokerStars Open. So far, so good for Sociano. He has paired his 9. Jacks and 10s, the cards working for Starte. Sociano gets the double up unless there is a jack or a 10 on the river. The river card is a jack! That is the straight for Sorel Starte, and that is game, set, and match. He claims the first ever PokerStars Open main event here in Campione, as Giorgio Sociano is eliminated in second place. He cashes for 225K. Our champion, our winner, our very deserving winner, will receive 363,000 euros.
Let's go. Get in there. See ya, boy.
What year is it, Joe?
It's the year of Romania.
That's nice. Good reaction here. Love to see these moments. That's what it's all about.
And somehow, at 1:10 in the morning, which if you think about the 30-minute delay, is actually before 1 a.m., 12:40, before we hit that deadline, this tournament is over. It's done. It's concluded. It's finished. I don't know how. When we were at 15 players for what seemed like 3 hours, I'm like, we're screwed. But here we are.
Maximum effort.
Yeah, I think State can be really proud of himself as well. That was an absolute clinic. I think he played every hand to death. And even in the face of adversity, he still managed to find a win here. And yeah, once it got down to shorthanded, I just think he crushed it, guys. What do you think?
Thank you.
Absolutely. I've been very impressed by this guy over the course of the last 2 days. A very deserving winner. And congratulations to Giorgio Sociano. 225K, still a huge score, but understandably going to be feeling a little bit bummed out right now because you're so close to the win. You're so close to lifting the trophy.
Yeah, I mean, he was 6-1 against to start the heads up. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously people want to win. People are competitive, but it's not like he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
That is true. And Luca Pagano on standby for the official trophy presentation. Got to get that footage for the vlog. Got to get the winning moment in there.
Oh, shoot, I got to get down there!
Toby Stone made sure this was a smooth and controlled event. He wasn't sweating it at any point much. And here's how things finished at the final table. A reminder that it was Francesco Legnaro who officially bubbled the final table, going out in 9th place. After that, we lost to Andreas Putz, Gaspari Spazzato, Jakob Sterber, Salvatore Russo, one-time chip leader, out for 95K. Start of day chip leader, Manuel Montalban, eliminated in 4th. We had that bizarre hand, King Deuce versus 9 Deuce, which sealed the fate of Barnabat Peroni. And then a relatively short heads-up battle where Giorgio Sociano was never able to get the advantage. Adrian Sorel Starte kept the chip lead throughout. Yes, that chip lead was narrowed at one point, but was always dominant and sealed the deal on that last hand, rivering the straight to claim the title and trophy and that first prize of €363,000. So just a reminder, guys, that as we wrap in Campione, just ahead of the official trophy presentation, I want to remind you, we've got the Sunday Million anniversary in 3 weeks' time. And we're going to stream the final day, Tuesday the 8th, on the PokerStars Twitch channel. We've got the Irish Open next month, Easter weekend, Good Friday through Easter Monday, 4 days of live coverage from Dublin. And the first EPT of 2025 is just around the corner. In early May, we'll bring you main event coverage from Monaco and the PokerStars EPT presented by Monte Carlo Casino. So plenty of live poker, plus some online action coming your way very soon. I think it's fair to say this event has been a huge success. A massive field, 2,400 plus have become one. That one is Adrian Sorrell Starte. It's time to give him his trophy. We're going to go down to the floor very shortly and hand things over to Luca Pagano.
Joining me here, the PokerStars Live Room Operation Manager Roberta Naselli and the PokerStars Campione Open Tournament Director Toby Stone. Just few words in Italian. È stato un evento molto importante, è un evento che ha segnato il ritorno di PokerStars Live in Italia, un evento che ha segnato la riapertura di questa magnifica poker room qui a Campione. E voglio ovviamente ringraziare PokerStars per aver creduto e investito in questo magnifico progetto. Questo progetto è la PokerStars Live Room di Campione. Voglio ringraziare il Casinò per aver scelto PokerStars come partner e per averci ospitato. Voglio anche ovviamente ringraziare il Comune di Campione d'Italia che ha fortemente voluto la riapertura di questa straordinaria poker room. Ma soprattutto voglio ringraziare tutti i giocatori che sono venuti anche da lontano, perché senza di voi tutto questo non sarebbe stato possibile. Grazie. It's been an important event. This event has marked the official return of PokerStars Live in Italy. This event has marked the reopening of this historical and beautiful poker room located here in Campione. I want to thank PokerStars for investing and believing in such a beautiful project, the PokerStars Live Room in Campione. I want to thank the Casinò Campione for having picked PokerStars as partner and having hosted this beautiful event. I want to thank the municipality of Campione d'Italia because they really wanted strongly the reopening of such a beautiful poker room. But more important for me, I want to thank all the players. A lot of players came from very far here in Campione. And again, I want to thank you guys because without you, none of this would have been possible. Thank you very much. Let me hand over the microphone to Toby Stone.
Thank you, Luca. And now to crown the winner, outlasting 2,423 players, we have our winner, State Sorrell. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Get him.
I was about to say there's going to be some celebrations tonight. Hopefully the bar stays open for a few more hours.
If not, they can go drink lake water, but they'll get you real messed up.
It's weird without the confetti, right, guys? Where's the confetti? That's what I'm used to hearing.
These guys have every reason to celebrate the first ever PokerStars Open trophy presented to our champion, Adrian Sorrell Starte.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Great performance. Very deserving.
That's going to draw a line under this event. A reminder, if you go to PokerStarsLive.com, if you download the PokerStars Live app, you'll find details of all future PokerStars events, including the EPT and including future PokerStars Opens. I believe the next will be in Namur in Belgium in May, straight after EPT Monte Carlo. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching 2 long days of poker. I hope you've enjoyed our live coverage of this event. We'll be back next month. We will be in Dublin we'll bring you live coverage of the Irish Open 2025. Until then, from Nick Walsh, Joe Stapleton, and me, James Hartigan, it is goodbye from Campione.